What is going on, guys?
How's it going? This is the third live stream already. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like a year ago that we did the first one to me.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know.
Well, the name tags give it away, but we got Jacob and Eric from Daily Walkoff today. If you do not know Daily Walkoff, you're going to learn it tonight. And I'm just going to just give it behind the scenes, like pull behind the curtain. We didn't know if this was going to happen. Like Jacob and Eric are both out in Seattle. If you've seen the news, there are some wild storms. I mean, this was like game time call. Are they going to make it? So Jacob, Eric, thanks for powering through. How are you guys doing? How are your marriages for doing this stream anyway?
Good. Yeah. I ironically, Jacob lives closer to the mountains to me, so I thought he was going to get destroyed. And they were like, he was back online in 12 hours. Meanwhile, we were at my house. We just got power back, but we were out for 3 days. So the fridge, the freezer, toast, everything's going. Yeah. We were at my parents' house. They got a generator, thank goodness. But we got power back today. So I'm like, sweet, I'm in for I told Josh this morning, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't think I make it work today. And then we got power back. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm back. And I was like, oh no, I don't have internet. I'm not back. So anyways, we worked it out. It's been crazy though. Like everybody is safe, thankfully, in all these situations, but like our nanny's car got totaled, like a tree fell on it. Our neighbor had a generator blow up and like burned their house halfway down. It's been like Armageddon, but we're all good. We're rebuilding and everybody's safe. And Jacob just like walked through it. So
yeah, I know. Yeah. We thought we were going to get slammed out here, but I think we were just used to the winds just kind of by the mountains. And so we were by the party at the house. We had a generator. And so we had a bunch of people coming over and hanging out while they didn't have power. It was fun.
So thank you. Thanks to props to Josh and Mike for bearing with us every day. Just being like, I don't know. I can't text you today. I'll text you tomorrow when I have internet. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, Josh and I kept going back and forth. We're like, what do we do? And I'm like, stay the course. Just keep this. We'll stream whether they're here or not, and then we'll plan something else. And then even as of this morning, we were like, all right, this doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And then like 20 minutes after we decided, all right, we'll just call it. You guys are like, wait, we're in.
There's a chance.
So I'm glad you guys could make it. I'm glad you guys are okay.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This is great.
We made it happen. All right, so let's give maybe a lineup for tonight, what the plan is. We have Jacob and Eric here, so of course we're going to play Daily Walk-Off. Throw it in the chat if you play Daily Walk-Off. If you have no idea what we're talking about, it's all good either way, but just love to know like if we've got fans in the room. We'll play Daily Walk-Off. We'll definitely pick Jacob and Eric's brain about how they started the game, what the plans are, that kind of stuff, what a little behind the scenes. And then we'll play a grid for sure. We'll if this is your first time to the stream, welcome. We typically we'll get your responses up on the grid when we can. We'll source the chat. You all know way more than we do. We've got a really fun grid picked out. I guess let's. What am I missing, Mike? Should we bring up Daily Walk-Off? What do you want to do?
Let's bring up Daily Walk-Off. So we did an Instagram poll, and so what we're gonna do, we'll do at least two here, depending on how quickly it goes. Maybe we could squeeze in a third, but we're gonna start with the Mariners because these guys are out in the Seattle area and are both Mariners fans. So you guys give us a little bit of like how this game works for those who haven't played it.
Yeah, you bet. It's super simple. It's just you've got 4 columns and they're trivia categories, and you just got to put 3 players in each columns. and there's exactly 3 that fit in each column to solve the puzzle, and that's it. And when you think you got it right, you take a swing, and if you get a column correct, that's a base hit, and if you don't get a column correct on your swing, then that's an out. And so it's pretty simple. Walk off the game.
Nice. I'm not gonna lie. There are some of these where, like, for example, there's a couple players that probably fit multiple categories here, I would assume, right? Like,
yeah, sometimes, yeah, it depends on the puzzle. Like some of the columns are a little more overlapping sometimes. But what's great,
I don't think oh, go for it.
I just say what's great is like a lot of it's automated that we do. We built it that way, and so like I'm coming into this and I haven't played this one, you know. So it's like, so it's fun for me, you know. I haven't seen this yet.
I mean, I was going to say, I don't think I'm giving away anything crazy about a strategy here, but when I see like a category like this, although there could be like a wrinkle in this, but my first instinct would be like, let's get the pitchers lined up in the starting pitcher. But I was thinking this morning when I saw this, I didn't play it. I was like, I wonder if they ever sneak in like a, you know, technically a pitcher could bat right. Like, but for the sake of it, okay, not purposely. Yeah, but I mean, we could get the pitchers in there. We already got Felix there.
Yeah, so Felix Washburn was a pitcher, right? So I think that pitching column should be good with Mesh, Washburn, Felix.
Yeah. This is where I feel like a lot of these guys fit many boxes, right? I mean, you guys are the Mariners guys, like so.
I feel like 1990s might be easier to figure out, like the older guys. I feel like Buhner, but he could also be Silver Slugger too.
I would. Jeff Cirillo didn't come over until like 2002 or 3, so I would maybe Griffey's in the 90s. It's either got to be Griffey or
like Dan
top
Wilson.
5. A-Rod.
Yeah, I was thinking A-Rod. Yeah, I mean he was electric when he was young.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say that Dan Wilson was in Seattle longer. I think, right? So
whole career, almost 15 years.
So and A-Rod didn't come up until what, like 90.
Jay Buhner only had 1 Silver Slugger, so he's definitely there.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Griffey could go in either the first 2 columns, but A-Rod, I think A-Rod goes in the first column, don't you think?
And we got to move Cano out, right? Because he bats lefty, so we know he doesn't fit there.
Jose Lopez.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think you're gonna single one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man, Brett Boone is tricky. Brett Boone could be a 3-time Silver Slugger, don't you think?
Is that right?
He could be.
We've definitely used Boone on a Silver Slugger for grid. I mean, second base was like not a. He could have won 3 Silver Sluggers.
What about Beltre? Beltre bat right?
Yeah,
I think so.
Did he get 3 Silver Sluggers?
It says 3+. So I mean,
he's 3+.
Yeah.
I guess I'd feel more confident with him than Boone, but I could see that one going either way.
The only reason I would maybe question whether Beltre did it, but I mean, he played like almost 20 years. I feel like he has
that Dodger season. Okay, I don't know. Should we ask the chat if this is a good idea or if we're messing this up?
Yeah, we need to change.
That's true. Yeah, if you're with us, let us know if you think we should take a swing at this or if you would change anything. I feel like it's swingable.
Got everybody. We maybe have.
Hey, Charles in the chat says he's got a 76-day streak on Daily Walkoff, by the way, and he also said swing away. So if there's someone to trust, I mean.
But right below that, Nate is not sure about Dan Wilson being top 5, though.
I mean, I think just by straight volume, he, like you said, A-Rod would have only had. He probably only had about. Well,
I guess Boone
4.5 full seasons, probably in the 90s, something like that on the Mariners.
I mean, we're confident that we have a pitching column, so at the worst, we're going to get a hit, right? So
we're getting a double or a home run here.
Oh, let's
go! All right,
and that's how the game works.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't always work that way. Actually, I feel like I rarely get a home run on the first try. Like
I feel like
down from here.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody leave now. It's
No, there's more. So the poll we did on Instagram earlier, the lead vote was the Reds. So we could do a Reds walk-off. Do we want to do
Ken is here again.
Can we do pro mode? Or do I have to have picked that already?
That's wild. I mean,
If you
I
guys,
mean, we can do it. I don't personally play. I'll be honest. I'm not ashamed to say I don't. I don't play on pro mode. But
I'll be scraping by with the Reds.
yeah, I say if it was Yankees and my own team, I maybe would do pro mode. But
Real quick, what is the difference in pro mode is that it doesn't tell you if there's a guy who fits multiple categories. It
Yeah.
just kind of leaves you in the dark, or it
Yeah.
doesn't tell you who
So,
fits.
like,
You get 2 out of 3.
For regular, so let's say we missed a guy on that last one. All the people that were correct, they'll get locked in. So you'll know if you got someone in the correct column, and then you just need to move around the guys that didn't fit. But
Okay.
in pro mode, it doesn't lock in unless you get the whole column correct. It'll just tell you how many correct you have in that.
we
column.
can't do it.
Yeah,
I know,
Just
it's
like-
pretty hard. It's
yeah,
pretty hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's too scary for the Reds. We could, if we maybe
Yeah.
have time, we could always come back
Yeah.
and let the
That's
Yankees
true.
do
That's
something,
true.
but
All right.
too
So what
yeah.
do we want to line up pitchers again here?
Yeah.
Start us off. So
Aaron.
Eric Milton was a pitcher. Aaron Harang was a pitcher. And is it Ramirez? Was Ramirez the third pitcher?
Sounds good.
I was confident about Harang and Milton, but that's where my knowledge stopped.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Maybe-
sure.
I say do it. It wasn't Griffey. So
Right, it wasn't
Yeah.
Griffey.
anything better than that.
That's true.
So 90s have got to be like, well, they could fit multiple categories,
Dave
but
Parker, right?
but Larkin.
Oh, we got Boone here again too.
Yeah,
Okay. So
Not
so
Kozar.
Griffey didn't play with the Reds until later in his career, so I
2000s.
feel like he
2000. Yeah.
I think he's got to be in where we have him, the
Yeah,
career
he's so-
Silver
yeah.
Slugger.
I guess
Um,
this is maybe a little inside behind the scenes in the factory though too, but every once in a while you get the same players across multiple puzzles. It's not a guarantee they belong in the same columns,
but
sometimes they do, right? So in this case,
Yeah.
we got Boone and Griffey again, like the Mariners, which
yeah.
a little bit of a hint that
maybe they're Silver Sluggers.
maybe they
again.
go in the same place where they were before.
yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
smart. Yeah,
Okay.
I would. Yeah, Brandon Phillips. He was righty, right?
I think so.
I can't picture him
Doesn't say
batting
anything
lefty to
else,
be
though, right?
honest.
He didn't
So,
get
yeah, good
other,
point.
so
Good
he's gotta
point.
be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Mets legend Jeff Keppinger is here. That's-
Oh,
not
David
me, my
says.
excitement.
I'm seeing in the chat,
David's-
Keppinger should go in the last column as a
as a
utility,
utility guy. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Brett Boone did play a lot of years on the Reds in the 90s. He could have snuck
Okay.
into the top
Yeah,
five.
yeah.
Okay.
He probably had at least
Nate
5.
saying
there.
Phillips does fit here.
Yeah, Kevin's worried about Renteria, 3-time Silver Slugger. I mean,
We take over him. Larkin?
I just don't
Yeah.
think there's anybody. Well, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Brandon Phillips has three Silver Sluggers just because second
yeah.
base again.
So- Edgar maybe switch Renteria and Phillips.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I might go with that because we looked it up, Mike. Like Renteria had that really
We did- yeah, we
one
talked
really good
about-
offensive year.
Yeah, he
Um,
had the 100 RBI season. I don't know that I would have had 3 Silver Sluggers. I'd probably feel better about Phillips
Yank 'em.
there.
We've got the chat split, but let's take a swing. Let's
All right,
let's.
Big poll.
And it's
That's not bad.
Oh no!
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
We had
We
it.
overthought it.
Oh.
What are you gonna do?
immediately eating our words.
No.
Aged
Here's the
poorly.
One thing,
Oh.
one thing you'll notice is that Renteria had a little exclamation point on him.
Yes.
That means that he did technically qualify for that column.
Oh,
Okay,
so
but-
we're really only off one guy.
But because
Okay.
Phillips wasn't a career 3-time slugger, then I didn't solve the puzzle. So
Darn you, Brandon.
Man.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, okay.
Pretty good. That's pretty
Yeah.
that was pretty good. That was
Yeah.
pretty good for not really knowing. That's good.
Although with
Yeah.
4 brains to not get a home run, what are you gonna do? Well,
Yeah.
people we have in the chat, yeah. Oh well. I apologize if somebody else said that right and we didn't take your advice.
Oh man, Jacob, Eric. I mean, while we still got this pulled up, like what walk us through like how this started. I feel like anybody who's coming to a stream at 10 o'clock has probably thought about a baseball game before. You guys did it, and like when I first learned about it on Twitter, I played it and then I sent it to Mike and I was like, I'm about to ruin your day. Like you're just not going to get anything done. Like
It wasn't my
I think
day,
what
it's
I'm-
more my nights are gone now.
Yeah.
Like the little sleep I hoped to get is no more.
I think what I'm just so impressed by is the interface is just so easy. Like there's a lot of games out there that are just really good ideas, but aren't that enjoyable to play. And I feel like you guys just nailed it. So just walk us through what that looked like and how you decided to do it.
Yeah, go for
Okay,
it.
let me
Yeah.
start because Jacob won't talk himself up. But so Jacob and I met probably 12 years ago. We were roommates at the University of Washington, and he had actually, while in high school, he was just bored in math class. He's like, "I'm going to build an iPhone game." Dude, he just came up with this, and it was like this awesome like puzzle. You got to get the box out of the whatever puzzle it was in. There was a bunch of levels. Super fun. He had 100,000 downloads. I don't think he really made any money off this, but like it went pretty big, you know. So and he had for years, you weren't even doing anything technical. He was doing property management. He was all over the place, but he kind of got back into doing some coding in the last few years. And he and I, we both like, trivia, baseball and otherwise. So we both played Immaculate Grid and MLB Pickle, Wordle, Connections, all these things. So I came to him and I was like, honestly, like some of these games aren't really that fun for me because like I'm mostly a Mariners fan. So like trying to guess the fourth starter on the Minnesota Twins on the MLB Pickle, like I get done and I'm like, cool, I don't, that doesn't do anything for me, right? So that was actually the original idea, was like, could we have like a random player a day for each team you got to guess? We started to go through it and we're like, oh, after about the first 100 or 200 players per team, it starts to drop into obscurity really, really quickly. So we're like, that game is not going to have a lot of legs because after 6 months, like, are you going to reuse people or what? So Jacob came back, and I don't think I'd actually played New York Times Connection at this point, but he came back and showed me this, and he was like, well, what do you think about maybe something more along these lines where like you have to kind of match things up? And so then we just kind of ideated back and forth how many, we started out with a 4x4 16 player. We're like, this is a bit much, and we're running out of space on the phone. So we kind of went through different iterations and then got to something that looked like this. And Jacob has built the entire front end. So like, he deserves like all the credit for the game. Really, my day job is working with data, so I've compiled a lot of the back end data. So for better or worse, some of the calculations are my fault when they don't work. I don't know. Sometimes it's the code, whatever. It's a little bit of both. But so I kind of did some of the data work, and then we're sort of dividing and conquering.
You do.
I'm doing a lot of the social stuff, and then Jacob has to build a puzzle every day. Like sometimes he can kind of reuse and slightly modify code, but every column is unique code that he writes. So do you want to sort of talk about the front end creation and just like what goes into this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, when we were thinking, we were just like, let's build a game that we would want to play. And I think that's always a good place to start, because I think a lot of people resonate with that. And and honestly, it's funny, when we built it, we were like, we've spent so much time on it already. We have no idea if people are going to like it, but it's been so cool to see the reception. People are really digging it, and just it's fun to see the community and interacting with the community that we've made. But so like a little bit about the puzzles that we make every day. We wrote a program that will we set the categories and the program will pick the players, and we've tried to build it so that it kind of picks it smartly so that they're not too obscure, and then it just kind of generates the solutions. And then but I appreciate the comments on the UX, the user experience. I spent way too much time.
It paid off.
It's very clean.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Do you want to talk about what we have in the works? Like,
Sure.
Next features we're hoping to roll out.
So when we rolled out, we didn't have pro mode, and that was one of the big things that we released. Hopefully trying to attract the people that like to play grid, the harder games. And then coming up, we're releasing the archive, and so that's a feature that a lot of people have asked for. They want to go back and play previous puzzles, and so we've been working on that for a while, but it's just stuff in our evenings, but we're getting there. And we'll have it soon. And then maybe at some point we'll have like an MLB wide puzzle per day. So it'll be kind of an aggregation of all the teams.
Yeah, it could be this puzzle, but
for
the whole league.
Yeah, for the whole league.
Yeah.
Be interesting. So, and you can even like break it down by like American League, National League, AL West. So we're thinking about different ways to add some variety in there.
That's awesome.
That is amazing. And I like that you have all 30 teams as an option, like as though I need more to do. Like
Right.
I would have been fine just with the Mets, but like I don't play it every day because I try to do my job like my
Of course.
job.
You need the archives.
But when I do get on, I do every team, and it's great.
That's great. Yeah, I know Chuck was asking in the chat if anyone's done 30 for 30, and we've definitely had a lot of people. It's actually a funny story. We released it for like a beta testing at one point. We only sent it out
like
to like
10, 20 users or something.
Yeah, we sent it out to 10, 20 people, and then I've got statistics on the back end where I can see like
how many puzzle players.
Yeah, like user metrics, like what kind of users are playing it and what they're doing. And there was this one guy in Tulsa, Oklahoma, who spent 42 minutes on the website and played all 30 puzzles. And it's like we never met this guy.
Some random pilot puzzle.
Yeah, he found the link.
Who are you?
He found the link and he played it, and then he came back the next day and played 16 of the puzzles again. But the puzzle never changed. It was the same puzzle. He just did it again the next day. And it was just like,
we don't know who it is.
That's honestly when I knew, when I was like, all right, we've got something special. People like it. They want to come back and play more. And so that's what's kind of kept us going.
I think what's cool too is like, my dad's a big baseball fan. My mom is too. And sometimes the grid is just too hard for them, to be honest. And I shared this with them last time I saw them a couple weekends ago, and they're like hooked. My dad texted me the other day. He did the Yankees walk-off. He did the Mets walk-off. And even my mom played a couple of them too. So it's a cool like niche. I mean, like the pro mode is awesome for those people who want that extra challenge. I'm not in that bucket yet. But it's cool. Like every time I've like posted about it online, a lot of people know about it. Like it's a lot of people know about it. But all that being said, like if you're watching this and you play, like go follow Daily Walkoff on socials. I mean, it's like it makes a difference when these guys are trying to convince people how cool the game is. Like unfortunately, sometimes people are like, well, what's your social following? What's your reach? Like those little things matter. So just go consider following them. Tell your friends about the game. Like if you have group chats with baseball, don't keep this to yourself. Like go tell them about this game. So
yeah, we need all the help we can get.
Drop it in there and watch the world burn with all your
exactly.
Like, your group text will be blowing up. Everybody's sharing puzzles.
Oh, it's so great. Like I sent it to one buddy and he sent it to several of his buddies, and they were just texting him every day with the scores, and he was just sick of it. So he just put us all in a group chat. And now I've got a group chat of like a bunch of guys from New Jersey, all these buddies of my buddy. And now we're all buddies, and they're like one of our core like focus groups. Like when we're testing something out or need feedback, we ask them. It's just so funny to see people play it, and that's great.
They'll let us know when a guy's in the Hall of Fame category that shouldn't be there, and we mess up the data.
People are not afraid to let us know.
It's pretty awesome. I did see somebody ask in the questions, why does it default to the Yankees? Well, for a long time we had it as the Mariners as a nod to the hometown, but eventually we caved and we're like, the biggest user base is Yankees fans for whether you love them or hate them. They have a following, and there are some kind of back end workings we might figure out at some point about having it default to different teams based on what you click on or hard code URLs. There's a lot of boring technical stuff that we've thought about, but like setting up logins and stuff. These things are like pretty extensive undertakings, so they're a ways out.
I'm with Nate. I have no problem with it defaulting to the Yankees. I look forward to it every morning. So, I think that's the best part of the game, actually.
You should remember the last team you played, though, to be fair. So if you go back on the same browser and you're not like incognito or private, it should go back to your team.
Yeah, I will say it's a real thing. Like we look at our views all the time, and New York's a big baseball city. Like the most people who watch our content are from New York. So I totally get it. I mean, it's amazing you guys have even like created one with 30 teams where it's easy enough to hit a drop down and find your team. So Charles wants the Royals.
Love it.
Before we we'll probably keep talking about walk-off. I mean, this is just awesome. I know we're going to pivot to the grid at some point. But I realized like we see some names in the chat also who we don't know. So probably some walk-off fans, and I realized we didn't even say kind of who we are, what we do. So if you haven't like come to one of these streams before or have no idea who we are, and you know Daily Walk-Off, we're Ordinary Effort, and we love Immaculate Grid. Basically, like our elevator origin story basically is that Mike and I had a group chat where we talked grid. We just were sharing grids with our friends every day, and someone was like, "Hey, Team Grid, let's do it. Let's do Team Grid." And we were like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then Mike and I realized we were the only ones still like really excited about it. So we were like, "Hey, why don't we just record this and like maybe just for ourselves, maybe not." Now if you don't follow us, we post a weekly episode where we tackle one of the grids. We'll go through the different players. We're very intentional to call out that like we're not like the people in this chat tonight who will get a single digit on every single grid. We're more about like what are the memories and baseball players we remember in our childhood. We post daily clips on Instagram, so there's lots of ways to get at us if you like the grid. Mike, what did I leave out?
Well, I left out the entire intro at the beginning. So welcome to Ordinary Effort, where a bunch of random fans guess random players and try not to biff the grid. No, I mean, you pretty much covered it. The group, you covered it.
Yeah. And this will be fun. This is our third stream here. So Mike, do you want to pull up the grid and
I can do that,
we can kind of walk us through the plan. But so while Mike pulls that up, a little housekeeping. We'll put on screen what box we're working on for the grid, and we'll ask you to throw your names in the chat. If there's an obvious, just like sparkling name we think is going to be the best one, we'll call it out. If we're not sure, we'll put it up to you guys. We'll say like, hey, we're between these two people. Which one do you think? A note is that there's sometimes a delay. So it's possible that we've asked you a question, you just haven't seen it yet. So if you're wondering why, that might be the delay piece. But we thought it'd be fitting to get a Mariners grid up here with Jacob and Eric here. So for those listening, we are doing grid 198, and it is on the left going up Marlins, Mariners, Cardinals, and then going across Astros, Orioles, and All-Star. It's a good grid.
I'm gonna.
Thank goodness you picked the Mariners because I think
know,
we would have zero to contribute otherwise.
So I'm not gonna bog everybody down with Mets stuff all night, but I did when I took a peek at this when we decided this is the direction we were going tonight. I think that there's a Met that fits in every box, and I think I could fill this out with all Mets. We won't do that, but I'll probably throw the names out as we go box by box.
At the very least, hit us up with your alt grid at the end.
Yeah, I can do that.
I think we should start with the Mariners box.
Sure, why not?
Why don't we just do Mariners Astros? So if you're watching, throw your guesses for Mariners Astros in the chat. But I mean, the guy that comes, I call him out all the time. It's not that good of a guess, but Abraham Toro works here, I think.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm sorry, guys. I took your thunder.
I was going to say, no, you're good. I was going to say Toro, and I was actually at the game. So Toro was traded to the Mariners. Mid-series while we were at home. And so one game he was playing for the Astros, and then the next game. And he got a home run, I believe.
Grand slam, I think.
Well, he got a home run in the first game.
Oh, yeah.
He got a home run in the first game against the Mariners, and he got traded to the Mariners. So I was at that game, and Toro hits a grand slam
to beat them like 9-8.
And I think Graveman was pitching.
Well, did he really?
I think I might be mixing up, but Graveman was the one that we traded.
I was going to say,
it was just wild. And then and I've always been a Toro fan since then. I was so sad.
Yeah, he started out real hot.
I know.
That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
I always pour one out for Toro.
Well, that whole trade was crazy because the Mariners were like relatively. I mean, they weren't like gonna win the division, but they were like competing for a wild card spot. They missed out on the playoffs by like one game that year, and the team took it as selling. Like Graveman was one of the veterans they liked, and they shipped him for Toro and Joe Smith, the reliever, like journeyman reliever. And there was like a lot of reports coming out of the clubhouse. I think there were. I don't want to call them malcontents because they had a lot of reason to be angry at the Mariners for being terrible for 20 years. But like, I think like Kyle Seager and some of those guys were like, what the F is your problem, Mariners? Like this is a good reliever. This is one of our best relievers.
Yeah.
We're trying to get to the playoffs, and you traded him for a
Right.
utility guy
Right.
and an old reliever. What are we doing?
Yeah.
So all three of those guys, I guess, are good options then.
That's really
They
all
are, yeah.
You're only going to get.
Yeah, they don't trade with
Mariners.
each other much. The
Well,
Astros don't want to play with us.
We've got a couple names in the chat I saw.
Nice.
Ron Vallone was called out a couple times, so I'll highlight that one.
I got
Jessica and Zin, who I are like our grid legends here. Larry Anderson is the name they're calling out. I got to be honest, I don't know the name. Mike, who do you got? Who's in mind for you?
All right, so this is a name that has come up a lot for us lately, and he fits here.
Oh,
It's Blast Minor.
Blast
Blast
Minor.
Minor.
Is that a reliever?
Yeah,
Reliever.
he pitched for the Mets, Pirates, Mariners, and Astros.
Wow. This must have been one of the dark years, one of the 20 dark years.
I was going to say, you're going to have to be more specific because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I think Blast is going to score pretty well. Like Blast has lately become like, yeah. I mean, we talk about Mark Melanson a lot. I don't know why we got on a kick with him, but Blast is like the newest guy lately. We try to fit on the grid if we can.
Well, can I throw two more names out there? Probably not
Do
to
it,
use,
yeah.
but Ryan Stanek. He was on the
yeah.
Astros for years. The Mariners got him. He kind of turned into a pumpkin. Then he went to the Mets and turned into Hercules. So we got that. And then I think this is an old school reference. I mostly learned about him through Daily Walkoff, but Julio Cruz was a second baseman in like the 80s for the Mariners. And I think I saw a highlight recently where he was on the Astros. Hopefully somebody could confirm or deny that, but pretty sure that would work. But honestly, that's probably not worth the gamble.
I think it's between Larry Anderson, Ron Vallone, and Blast. It's probably negligible. Maybe Larry Anderson scores better, but how many people are putting Blast on this grid?
Let's do it.
I think you got it. I think you could put Blast here.
We're going to Blast Minor here.
Oh, I didn't realize that's Jose Cruz's brother, Zin. That's a good call. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Blast Minor.
Yeah.
Wow.
0.02% hidden
That's
gem.
good. That's good.
That is what I was hoping for.
That'll play.
Holy smokes.
Maybe let's save some Mariners stuff. Jump around a little bit.
Sure.
Do you want to do Astros Cardinals? Go up that way.
Let's do that.
So if you're watching, drop your Astros Cardinals.
I feel like Beltran is all that I have.
Beltran and Lance Berkman works here too.
Berkman, yeah.
Those are the first two that come to mind.
Michael dropped Jose Vizcaíno. Just a good one.
That is a good one.
I didn't think about him for Cardinals, but it's a really good one. I mean, this is where the chat just does its thing. Like Bobby Shantz.
Whoa.
Oh, Frivolous Baseball. Hey, that's a good to see you. Frivolous Baseball is a great Immaculate Grid YouTube channel, so go check their content out. Give them a follow. They're one of the other people doing this, and they've got a great situation going. They'll do time grids. They'll do rarity challenges. So I'll highlight his guests here, but go check out Frivolous for sure. These are some great names here. Dotel. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'm seeing a lot of former Mets on in the chat. Actually, Dotel. I see Mike Hampton. I see Darryl Kyle. That's right. He's not a Met, but Darryl Kyle is a good call. Colby Rasmus.
Oof, this is some great ones. It's gonna be hard to narrow this down.
I think Shantz has got to be one of the top contenders for me. Like if we can get an older guy like that on the grid.
Yeah.
I like Bobby Shantz, and I'm good to see another like grid creator out there. I think we'll have plenty we're waffling with. I'm cool with throwing Bobby Shantz on here.
Bobby Shantz.
Oh, there's multiple Shantz.
Oh, wow.
Oh, don't pick the wrong chance.
Bobby.
Oh my.
Shanty Hogan. That's a great name.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find a way to get this person.
Honestly, on Walkoff, one of my strategies for like with the older years is just pick an old name and just throw it in there. You know, like Shanty Hogan. That guy
Yeah.
was born before the 50s. You know it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do Bobby Shantz. 0.1%
Nice.
gem.
Jessica called out he's the oldest living Major League Baseball player.
Currently
Which is
alive?
pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah, good shout out, Frivolous. Thanks again for checking this out. And again, go check out Frivolous's channel. All right, finish out this column.
Yeah.
Marlins, Astros. Ooh.
Alex Colomé? That's probably not worth the risk.
Oh,
Reliever?
He was.
I don't know.
Coleman was the guy who started with the Rays, right? He was the closer for
Maybe it was
a couple
Rays,
years.
not Marlins. Let's do
Okay.
it. I retract my statement.
Okay. Oh,
Florida.
Yuli Gurriel works here.
yeah,
That's right.
Charles. I was gonna say that. Tejada. Kind of. Did he play for the Marlins?
Yeah.
Or which? I guess it depends which Tejada we're talking about. Because I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Miguel Tejada did play for the Astros and the Orioles, of course, but
I don't remember if he. I don't remember him on the Marlins. I know Moises Alou, I think, works here, and I know that Preston Wilson works here.
Cameron Maben is a good one. JT.
For the call out, yeah.
Well, hold up. So we got Reggie Abercrombie, which I didn't even know was a guy.
I don't remember the name. Never would have pulled it for that box, but I remember the name vaguely.
Yeah. That's for me, that's the name that jumps out right now. Jessica, great shout. Reggie Abercrombie, Ed Drew, that's some good ones. Greg Zahn.
Greg Zahn was catcher, right? Was he Blue Jays? Am I thinking of the right guy? Not 100% sure, but that's a good one too.
I'm not blanking on these. Marlins is a tough one. I mean, we've got some great options. I mean, we got I'll just call out a couple of the ones here, and keep throwing them. We should do 9 grids with you guys. It's hard to get everyone's name in there, but Yuli's a good one. We got Jonathan VR, ex-Met Ryan Thompson, Reggie Abercrombie. Frivolous called out that Luis Gonzalez probably sneaks in a year with the Marlins. I think that's right.
Ooh.
So there's just a ton of names here. Carl Everett.
Nice.
I mean, we're not going to go wrong picking one of these. I would say maybe Reggie Abercrombie, just for the pure name. I mean,
Do it.
All right. Let's think Reggie Abercrombie.
Chance Minor and Abercrombie. We're getting the all names for sure.
0.3% for Reggie Abercrombie. That's a triple play column right there.
We should take guesses on what percentage it's
yeah, we've tried that before. That's tricky. All right, where do y'all want to go next?
Let's try an all-star. Let's do an all-star.
Oh yeah, I like it.
All right, yeah.
Obscure all-stars.
We can stick with the Marlins if we want, or
yeah, let's do that.
Have they ever had an all-star? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
I think they had to. Every team has to have one representative, right? That's a thing,
Miguel
right?
Cabrera. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that true? Every team has to have one representative.
When did they start that? It is now, but
funny.
You didn't used to get a participation trophy back in the day, right?
I think I don't know how long it's been, but I know within a long time.
You don't see teams with 10 all-stars anymore. They're like, all right, Dodgers, you can't have that position.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, you figure Beckett would have probably made an all-star team. Think about if they've ever had relievers. AJ Puck probably wasn't. I don't think he had any a year there we would have made it, but he could have been their representative one year.
I don't think Puck was there that long. I feel like he was there maybe parts of 2 seasons. He came over in 23, I think, partway through, and then left partway through 24. If I'm getting
Sheffield,
it right.
Maybe
Sheffield. That's Jessica mentioned Sheffield and Brian Harvey, an original Marlin with Sheffield in '93.
Wow.
I
That's
don't know
incredible.
who that is at all.
Somebody went for Dan Ugla, which I love for the all name team for sure.
Oh yeah.
Ugla.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin, good call. Dontrell. That was like one of the
Oh
most
yeah.
exciting pitchers to watch at the time. Got another Ugla shout for sure. Charles Johnson been called out a couple times.
He was part of the Piazza trade, I think.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
Peters.
that he made the All-Star team with the Marlins.
I saw Tim Anderson as an option, who I think he got cut from the Marlins
He
like
did.
halfway into his only season there. So I don't know.
Yeah, no. So
White Sox for sure.
they had to have made the All-Star team. I feel like this came up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, they must have represented that team
that's a good
in the
call out.
All-Star game. Okay, so I don't think Tim Anderson is going to work here.
Am I mixing up Javier Vasquez? Did he pitch for the Marlins? I know he pitched for the White Sox, pitched for the Yankees. I don't know if he would have had
He definitely pitched for the Marlins.
an
I don't
all-star year with the
remember.
Marlins.
Yeah.
What about
That I'm not
Sandy
sure about.
Alcantara and Pablo Lopez? Did either of them represent the Marlins in the All-Star game? I can't
Well, I know
remember.
Sandy.
I can't keep those two guys straight. Like, I don't watch the Marlins really, but I don't know. I just generally know they're both decent starting pitchers at least. But probably too recent.
Yes, like I said, I
So
think
Lopez-
it's
I love
D-backs for Vasquez.
That guy tripped me up.
Mm.
I freaked
Yeah.
out. So Derek
Make
Lee is a funny one in the chat. When I was testing one of our puzzles, maybe it was the Marlins even. I was like checking and I was like, it was like Derek Lee, top 10 home runs or something in the 90s. And I was like, bro, Derek Lee was a pitcher for the Cubs. What are we doing? And then it was like 2 R's, Derek. I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like freaking out. Like,
Yeah.
Jacob, we just had a bad puzzle. And it was like, wait, different Derek Lee.
I think there's 2
Oh
Dereks.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Good call out.
He's the only Derek with 2 R's. I think we threw him in a box a while back.
Yeah.
Did he make the All-Star game with the Marlins? I mean, obviously he was. I know him. I remember him also for
Was
time with the
Preston
Cubs.
Wilson ever an All-Star for the Marlins?
Oh,
That guy's name just comes up all the time.
I feel better.
I don't know if he was that good.
I feel better about. And a few people have thrown in the chat. Cliff Floyd is
Nice.
probably a good one there.
Hall of Famer, Cliff Floyd?
Jose Fernandez.
Close to Hall of Fame? I don't know.
No.
wish. There's also a name here, Bob Stinson. I don't know the name, but I just want to call it out because it feels like a real obscure one in here. If anybody knows more about Bob Stinson, drop it. I would say the names I'm seeing most often are Cliff Floyd and Dan Ugla. So
good with
maybe
either of those.
we put it to a vote. Again, there's some really good names here. So just we're gonna do Ugla or Floyd, but maybe drop which one you want us to go with, and we'll do that. But man, this
I
is
gotta
for an
say-
expansion team. We got a lot of names here.
I was gonna say this is way more names than I was expecting to
Yeah.
have for the Marlins All-Star.
Yeah,
I got one for Floyd. There we go.
yeah. Cliff Floyd asked me once to give a comp to Pedro Alvarez. Oh yeah, Jessica's got a Cliff Floyd story. Floyd, I think we go with Cliff Floyd. Got a
We'll go Cliff Floyd?
couple out there. It's not a name we've thrown on there, so
No.
I like it.
We should talk more about Cliff Floyd.
Oh,
0.8%.
Nice. Okay, I was
Okay.
worried he was going to be
Yeah.
like
A little higher,
single
yeah.
digits or nice.
Okay.
I think I confused Cliff Floyd and Fred McGriff earlier, so I apologize.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
Hall of
makes
Fame?
sense.
No,
I feel like
never mind.
I
My
feel like
bad.
I kind of want to see what Bob Stinson would have been in that one.
Oh
Yeah.
that was like that's my number one thing about Immaculate. I'm like, could we have like alternate universe? Like, can I just type in this one random guy and see like what he would have been? I'm
Yeah.
just curious.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be so nice. I think there are. I mean, you can just open a new private browser tab, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've done many tests after like, should I have done this guy instead?
Yeah.
Did I make the wrong choice?
Yeah. Do you want to go? You want to go Mariners All-Star?
Let's do
Up
it.
the row, up the column here.
I mean, we will bore you if we just hit you up with Griffey and Buhner and Dan Wills, whatever. But a couple of somewhat obscure guys recently that I can remember are Yusei Kikuchi, forgotten about, had a couple good months and then kind of fell off, and Dan Vogelback. Danny Burgers
Wait.
himself.
Wait.
Oh.
Vogelback
Yeah.
made the All-Star
He
team
was
with
a
the
DH.
Mariners.
He had like an 800 something, maybe close to 900 OPS the first couple months. Gets voted in and kind of became a bit of a. He kind of fell off in the second half, but he was the Mariners All-Star in 2019.
Yeah, I feel like with the Mariners, people are probably more commonly going to go for like the old
school,
greats.
yeah.
Yeah,
Edgar.
like the big
Yeah.
names. We just haven't had many big names since then. So I feel like someone more recent like Vogelbach might be a good choice.
I was thinking
Yeah.
There's gonna be
like,
Rupert
Danny.
Jones, Joey Cora. Oh man, these are so good.
Danny V.
I love this. Jim Presley, that's pretty good. Ooh,
Yeah, I mean, we've got some love for the Danny Vogelbach shout out for sure. Mike Cameron, also
Ooh.
great follow on X, plays great all the
yeah,
time.
love it.
Yeah, Rupert Jones.
Dude, you know,
Yeah.
would Ken Phelps have ever been an all-star for the Mariners? So here was a random thing we found when researching for just Mariners / puzzles in general. Ken Phelps is the Mariners. If you get like any low threshold, a couple hundred at bats at least, Ken Phelps is by far the Mariners leader in home runs per at bat, like way ahead of Griffey, Buhner, whatever. All the guys that you would think of. No, Ken Phelps, number one.
He's a top guy.
Who's mostly just famous for the Jerry Seinfeld rant where they traded Jay Buhner for him, right? And was it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
George Costanza's dad. Oh, they traded Buhner for this guy. Ken Phelps. I don't know.
Yeah.
That might also be risky.
Yeah. Little aside, there's a whiskey company that makes their whiskey with corn from the Field of Dreams, and they released a series where each type the cork to the bottle has a different player on it, and my bottle is Jay Buhner. So
wow!
I'll share a picture with the chat later, but
That's a good one.
it's also a great whiskey. But yeah, owned by Tyler Clippard. He's one of the owners of it. So yeah.
Great.
Somebody wrote a chapter of a book about the Seinfeld rant.
I mean, I'm tempted to throw Buhner on there, but it's going to blow the rarity. So, okay, I think we have to at least consider Vogelbach.
We definitely have to.
Yeah, so let's save.
Choice. I don't know if he's the best choice, but he's the funniest choice.
He's He's got to be at least one of our
I bet he's
final
gonna be
options.
a 2 or 3%er, but
You think he's going to be that high?
I don't know. Maybe with the Ichiros in the world and whatever,
Yeah.
maybe not. There's so many other options, I guess.
I
But
just wouldn't think he was in it, to be honest. So, I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea.
I'm gonna go. Do they show decimal points over 2, like 2.2%? That's my guess.
They don't.
Okay, I'm gonna go 2%.
Let's go Vogelbach. I think we could throw him.
I like Vogelbach.
Yeah.
All right, Dan Vogelbach. And
Also-
by the way, there's a lot of. Oh, does it have to be Daniel Vogelbach?
Daniel.
There we
Daniel.
go.
Oh,
Like his
man.
mother calls him.
Oh,
9%. There
alright.
it is.
Okay. I thought that would be.
Someone
Yeah.
someone was saying Cano, and how many times do you think Cano was an all-star for the Mariners? If you were to guess.
Oh, was it one? Is this one of the, or is this like a trick question where he didn't make it at all? Because didn't he do when he did the Derby, he was with the Mariners, right? Or was that still with the Yankees?
Ooh,
I can't
I
remember.
don't remember that actually. Yeah, I don't
Hmm.
remember.
He was an all-star 3 times.
3 out of basically 4 seasons.
Oh.
With the
Full
Mariners,
seasons.
which is crazy. Which is crazy because he didn't ever do that well for
He
us.
is very not respected around here. Like I know
Yeah.
he went out on kind of bad terms with the PEDs and having a whale contract, had to get traded and stuff. But he was the Mariners' best franchise second baseman ever, I think. And he only had like 4 seasons, so he was pretty nuts.
I wanna make a quick aside here while we just talked about like Cano having that hack to the grid. Just a quick little plug because we tend to ramble on these. We get really excited, and so in case you leave before we finish this, I wanna plug something because I think it's a lot of fun. Mike and I started a Discord channel, a Discord server for Ordinary Effort, and we haven't opened the floodgates to everyone yet. So if you're watching the stream, you sort of get like an advanced little notice here. If you're like what the F is Discord. It's fine. It's basically like it's a group chat where you can just talk grid all the time. We've got channels in there where people are dropping their grids every day. We've got a channel in there called Grid Legends. That's what made me think about it, is like, the guys who use on the grid because they did an obscure thing. We just talk baseball all day. And so I'm going to drop the link. If you're on Discord already, just come join us there. If you're intimidated by another app, I promise you, like, half the people in the channel right now have never used the app, and they've gotten the hang of it. So I mean, we would love to see you in there. I'm gonna drop the link.
And for
and
those
share,
people,
yeah,
if you're hesitant, I am one of those people who never used Discord before, and
yeah.
it's I was hesitant at first, but it's everybody's just talking baseball and sharing their grids. So I'm like, I can swing this. This is something I can do.
Yeah, like we've legit we've learned about a ton of guys already because of that. And like I would say we've got a range of like some people in here right now. Yeah, so Zen, thanks for saying. Like I was just about to call out, like Zen is one of the craziest grid players I've met, and Zen's in there. And then we've got people in there who are just like, I'm happy with getting a 9 out of 9. So there's just like there's something for everybody in there. So save the link if you want to join after the stream or whatnot. Love to see you in there. It's just it's a really great space. But I digress. We've got a grid to finish here, so we've got serious business in front of us.
Let's go to Cardinals All-Star.
Okay.
Throw some names here. And by the way, if I see a lot of names that we're doing our best to call them out. There's obviously we can't get all of them out there, but there's Drew, you've been throwing a ton of names here, and I see you've got Royce Clayton for this one, Woody Williams. Oh, Woody Williams. Wow.
Drew's just going to give us like 10
Right,
sub-1 scores here. Keep going, Drew. What else do you got?
Did Shelby Miller make it like earlier in his career before he completely dropped off for like 6 years? Or was he not? The Cardinals had some guys. They had Michael Wacha was pretty good at the beginning of his career out there. Woody Williams, like Drew said, is another guy who's like one of those. Just they had a bunch of pitchers that I feel like were pretty effective. Mikolas too, that's a good one.
There's Wild Bill Hallahan from Sid, and I really hope his name is Wild Bill in there.
Hold on, I got to just type this in.
Is it?
No.
Okay. But there's
three.
What happened?
Okay. But keep that in mind that we can use Bill Hallahan. We've also got Pepper Martin, which is like an A+ name. So we've got options here. Lance Berkman, definitely a shout. We've mentioned him a couple times.
Jason Isringhausen, I think, works here.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Wainwright.
I wish I always want to use Roger Maris for Cardinal stuff, but he really wasn't great after he. I mean, obviously he had several good years with the Yankees besides his 1961 season, but by the time he went to the Cardinals, he just wasn't the same player. So I don't think he made an All-Star.
We can't neglect to mention Stan the Man Musial, right?
Of course. I mean,
No.
how could you?
What kind of shanty production is this?
Right.
But I assume his family's watching. For
rarely smart purposes, we're also not going to put Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
But we are aware that he existed and was.
Do you ever do a grid? Do you ever do a grid where you try and get the highest?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Try and get a 500 or something.
You know what?
Possible.
Yeah.
That might be
it's hard actually.
Yeah.
We have some guys, we have some people in the Discord channel who that's their goal every day is to try to get the most popular answer on the grid. And I think it's very challenging. I mean, I do it organically sometimes because I just am not that great at this. But
well, the trick about it though is sometimes like the same guy fits multiple boxes, so you can't. Sometimes you can't fill the whole thing in with the.
That would also be a good challenge: is figure out what player fills the most boxes.
That's like there's a couple of accounts like Immaculate Ricky. That's like all
Immaculate Ricky.
Like he's on 5 spots today. They didn't do it
Listen,
today. How
like-
dare they? Yeah.
This is probably the 10th time we've shouted out Immaculate Ricky, and I just still don't know who he is. So I mean,
Yeah,
I'm probably
we
gonna,
are either.
Well,
I think I'm gonna write to him tonight and make sure he comes on the next stream, and we'll pick a Ricky Henderson grid because it's just like
we need it.
at this point, yeah, we keep mentioning him. All right, we've got some good answers here. Let's go through the chat quick to narrow this down. I mean, Wild Bill Hallahan is probably my favorite. Frivolous called out Ken Bottenfield, another like A+ name. Pepper Martin.
Woody Williams, was that one?
Woody Williams was
Wilson?
one of them. Yeah.
I don't even know.
Bake McBride, Michael Waka,
Bake.
Tom
Bake.
Pagnosi, Ray Langford, Enos Slaughter. So I mean, so thanks for putting the names in. How do you want to narrow this down? I think Bill Hallahan's got to be on there.
I think we got to go best names. I think we go Wild Bill. I think we got to go Pepper and Bake McBride are like the three
Bake. That's so good.
wildest names. to me.
Your child comes out. I'm gonna name him Bake.
Yeah, as if our spouses
Yeah.
weren't frustrated enough about this stream going on with the power outages. Let's name our
Yeah.
children Wild Bill and Bake.
Bake.
I mean, I know Wild Bill's going to rise to the top here, right? I mean,
Maybe choose.
yeah. Oh, David Eckstein, man. I just like that's a good one too. I always think about it for Angels. Bake McBride won Rookie of the Year in 1974, so got to pocket that one.
It's a good one. Sure.
Drew, was it for the Cardinals or drop that? I mean, all right. I think that we gotta go wild. We gotta go Wild Bill, right? I
Let's do
mean,
Wild Bill,
Bill.
So what was it? Bill? Oh, all right. Bill
One A,
Hallahan.
one L.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait. 2 L's?
Wait.
Is it 2
That's
L's or
Hallman. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This territory.
Wait, there's
Yeah.
Guy-
Those are Hallmans. There's only one Hallahan.
I think you're good there. Yeah.
All right, Bill Hallahan. Points.
Yeah.
0-4. That is.
I gotta be honest. When you type that in, my brain just thought about Bill Nye, and it was like Bill. Like, I just
Please put that in the post edit.
I got very
Yeah.
nervous that I was going to click the wrong one by accident.
Yeah.
And ruin this.
Oh man. All right.
Blow the
Cardinals,
screen.
Orioles. Let's finish out the column.
Yeah. Let's do it. Cardinals, Orioles.
I think Dizzy Dean fits here, doesn't he? Because the Orioles were the St. Louis Browns, I think. I feel like this, Jessica, is, if you're still in the chat, you can probably confirm that, right? The Orioles were the St. Louis Browns. And I'm pretty sure Dizzy Dean pitched for both the Browns and the Cardinals.
I'm sorry. I'm just dying at the comment that Bill Hallahan looks unwell.
It kind of does.
I love it.
I think it's just
Oh,
bad camera.
Yeah,
I think-
it was a tough day. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Good luck.
Brewers, Browns. So we're going Cardinals, Orioles. We got Roger Hornsby, Red Donahue. Yeah, Kevin's right. If you hover over the
Yes,
logo,
that
they'll
is-
tell
I-
you.
yes.
Oh,
trying to
that's
just
right.
trying to stir up conversation is what I'm doing. That's a good call. Yes, that's a good point.
Oh, it's Sidney Ponson. That's a name.
Oh wow.
I
You know who-
thought about him for a while.
I think Matt Wieters fits here too. And
Hmm.
and Ruben Tejada fits here.
I knew you were going to go Matt. I could just tell
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that I was like, I think Tejada played for both.
Let's we've been waffling, guys. I'd say we've got a good amount of names here. Like I'd say Ponson jumped out to me. I like Mike Tim
Hold on.
too.
Hold on. Wait. Zinn just threw out a name. Do you see this, Josh? It's like halfway up the chat.
Sunny Jim.
What is
I'm
going
sorry.
on over here?
I'm sorry. I read this. Is
Zim
that
needs to
really-
write the book of silly baseball names.
That can't be his name, right?
Can we see?
Jim Bottomley is a
Okay,
real
okay.
person.
I just wish it was Sunny.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So, all right, let's try to narrow this down. I'm watching that time, and people are
Yeah.
probably thinking like, my wife wants to know why I'm still on the stream.
We're having a good
So,
time.
why don't we do? I mean, I like the Ponson guess.
I'm in.
Yeah, Bottomley. And do you want to throw one more in, or leave it to those two?
Like real the thrill.
Just do those two. Do either Bottomley or Ponson.
All right. So let us know, guys. Cindy Ponson or Sunny Jim Bottomley. I mean,
I'm going for Bob.
I will say I misread one of the names, and it's less funny. The real name is less funny than what I thought I read.
okay.
The name was Bert, and I read Butt. So
it's
not.
It happens to the best of us. It looks like we got a few votes for Bottomley. He also had, Jessica said Bottomley had 12 RBIs in a game 100 years ago, still tied for most in a game.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Move over,
I mean,
Shohei.
So I think we got to put Jim on there.
That'll do it. Sunny Jim Bottomley, 0.2%.
There you go.
Beautiful. Hey,
Yeah.
not to put any more pressure on us, but we've got all hidden gems on this grid right now.
Yeah, I mean, no pressure.
We're gonna get to that Orioles one too.
Yeah. Why don't we do Marlins Orioles, and then we'll finish it out with the Mariners for you guys.
All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Kevin Gregg, did we talk about him earlier? Am I saying that name right? Or I know it's one of our first grids, Mike. We threw out
Kevin Gregg
the
does,
reliever.
yes. Kevin
He
Gregg
fits here,
fits here.
right?
Does Swiss Army knife Edwin Jackson work here?
mean,
Didn't he play on 15 teams? I think Orioles for sure. I actually don't know. I don't know for sure.
I don't know if he did Marlins,
He's
but
not gonna
another
be them though. I don't think.
another like Swiss Army. Michael called out Todd Zeal. Me, he's like a grid hack for sure. Ooh, Tim Raines.
Oh, nice.
Did not
Really?
realize for these teams. Yeah.
Was
How
it
does the
Rabbit.
Yankees White Sox come out?
A little Mets name, John Maine, works here. I think we just talked about him recently on one of the grids that we just did, Josh. But he was Mets, Marlins, and Orioles. Jorge Julio's a good one. Pat Rapp.
Yeah.
Pat Rapp. That is a name I haven't thought about in probably 25 years. See, was Pat Rapp a pitcher?
I don't know the name, to be honest. Joe Borowski. And Jessica called out someone else earlier. Jorge Julio, one of the go-tos.
Yeah.
That's great.
I like this, what Frivolous says here. The Raines played a week with the Orioles to play with his son. That is a pretty cool story.
Yeah, and it also is like people aren't going to remember Tim Raines on the Orioles is what that tells me as well.
Frivolous did.
Frivolous did. Yeah, that's why you got to go subscribe to Frivolous. Yeah, nothing gets past Frivolous clearly. So I think I like Pat Rapp and I like Tim Raines for the story. So I would say let's leave it to you all in the chat. Pat Rapp or Tim Raines. We're not going to go wrong here. Joe Ursulak, man, at the last minute there.
Yeah.
Drew, I think if I'm Drew, I've seen your grids on Twitter and they're always ridiculous. So I'm not surprised you're throwing out like some great names. But yeah. Rapp. Okay, we got a couple votes for Pat Rapp. I'm good with it, but I love that Tim Raines story. I'm gonna look it up afterwards.
All right, let's do Pat Rapp. 0.4%.
Oh, look at that headshot.
Florida Marlins. I love it.
Yeah,
you know it's good when it's clearly like a shot that they took from a photo, like an action photo.
Yeah,
not like a headshot.
They had nothing else.
Yeah.
To go off of.
Yeah.
Oddly,
all right, we've reached
what they
that.
have for Yoenis Cespedes is like a shot of him in the dugout or something. It's like you couldn't.
Not on like the horse or.
That was the running from the wild boar on his property.
Yeah. All right, we've reached that time. We've got one more box left, so I want to thank Jacob and Eric. Again, like we alluded to at the start of the stream, like they've been literally in the thick of a storm, and like up until the very last minute, we weren't sure if this was going to happen, and they went above and beyond to come. Literally, as someone said in the chat, like talk dudes with guys, like so. This has been a blast. Again, we started the stream. If you came late, we started by playing Daily Walkoff. That is what they do. So go support them. I mean, the best way to support probably, guys, is to go play the game at dailywalkoff.com. But, tell your friends, go follow them on social media. Jacob and Eric, thanks for doing this. We'll have to do it again.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. It's honestly really cool to be here. I mean, we've seen some of the streams with like Jessica and Bryce and some of the cool guests you've had on. So it's cool to be in this seat. And I mean, we've gone back and forth with you a million times over messaging, but it's nice to finally meet you face to face too and get to do this together. It's fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Same. Yeah. Fun as always. Every time we do this, it's fun. And this has been great. Daily walk off.
And
I'm gonna go. I got to do all the other 28 walk offs that we didn't do now after this. This is
and just once again for everybody else, like there's a lot of familiar names in the chat, so just appreciate some of you who come to every single thing we've done, and it really like truly means a lot. We're just two people who love baseball and thought to share that with everybody, so really appreciate it.
And hey, if this is your first time here, thanks for showing up, and we appreciate you being here.
And I would just one more time say, like, come chat with us after in the Discord. Like, Mike and I aren't going to go to sleep, so just come join that or follow us on Instagram. We love hearing like the guys you put on grids and all that. So should we close this out?
Let's close it out. Mariners,
you want to start?
Orioles.
Anybody up your sleeve over there?
I don't think I've got.
Oh, you know a couple.
I don't.
You'll know when we say.
I'm probably the worst one here. Yeah, go for it.
I mean, Nelson Cruz is the big name lately. The Mariners snagged him and he went wild here. Mark Trumbo is a fun one. And then I do think I've got a sub 1%er that I can throw out there, which is actually Adam Frazier. Don't forget him. That's one of Jacob's. Sure. I think you guys gave him a name, right?
Yeah, Captain Slapdick.
Are you allowed to say that on the stream? You might have to edit it on the post.
we got that from a YouTube video. Just someone edited this great YouTube video of the Mariners players, just with the funniest nicknames and just beefing on the Mariners. And my friends and I, we thought it was so funny. So now that's like one of our go-tos.
I forgot Frazier.
We kept it clean for over an hour, to be fair.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's after 11.
My very obscure guy. I mean, he's in a funny way. He's not that obscure because he played for both teams in the last year, but he's obscure because I don't think people would think of him. Mike Baumann, random reliever. He was on the Orioles, then he got DFA'd, and the Mariners had just played him, and the Mariners hitters. There was like a story. The Mariners went to management, and they're like, "This guy was nasty. We got to pick him up." He lasted a little bit, then they DFA'd him, and then he was just on his way. So Mike B.A., not to be confused, they had a Mike Bowman and Bauman at the same time. Was the most confusing thing ever. It's like, it's B-A-U-M-A-N-N.
Yeah,
that's the guy. If we do want him, I think that's probably the best I can do for you. But I also see some great names in the chat, so I don't want to.
I mean, Heathcliff Slocum has been called out a couple times. I think it's a good one. Actually, Adam from Sports Reference was the one who first called it out to us. But I'm not upset about putting Bauman on there, especially it's a great name. Oh man, Mike Morgan.
Mike Morgan's one of our
painful. Don't remind me
frivolous,
Eric Bedard for one mediocre season.
Oh, I think David Segui works here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
not that we need more names or anything, but
no, it's a good one.
And Wade Miley, I think, right? He's been on a fair amount of teams. Yeah, but we did what was it? I forget the number of the grid that we did, but we did an all relievers grid with Greg Jewett from Closer Monkey and Reliever Recon. And those relievers, like those, especially the middle relievers, they tend to be pretty low scoring on these grids. I like Bauman. Do we want to just throw Bauman, or do we want to put up like Bauman and a second option.
I kind of think let's do Bauman. He was, he wasn't
Yes.
wasn't a
70%
closer.
Bauman.
Yeah.
Bauman's like the only player above 1%. That's gonna be
Right, 18%. Mike
Yeah.
Bauman.
All
right.
Yeah.
0.026. Love it.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Oh man, that was awesome.
So
Show
we
the
got
summary.
yeah, we got a 3. That's pretty good. That's rarefied air,
Yeah.
as we call it. We've got a lot of good variety here, like a really good variety. 2 black and white photos. Daniel Vogelback's on the grid. I mean,
format legend.
right.
Yeah. Oh man, everyone in the chat, you all killed it. This is like Mike said, we've got all hidden gems on here. I love these streams because I'm gonna go look these guys up and try to find a way to use them on the grid again. So yeah, thanks for doing that. We'll be here. Like we said, we are releasing episodes every week. You can follow us on Instagram, Ordinary Effort, just about everywhere, where you get your podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky. There's a great baseball community there. And Daily Walkoff is like the new way to start your morning. DailyWalkoff.com, and follow them on X and Instagram. Yeah, it's been a blast.
great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you again for having us. It's been really fun.
This has been great.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
We will see you all the next time.
All right.
Stay ordinary.
Everybody.
Stay ordinary. Yeah.
No, I couldn't. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
That was awesome.
That was great.
Are we still live? Or it says you're in the show.
Says we may still be on. We may still be on because I hit end stream. We're on